Today you will study scalp. Soft tissue covering the skull cap, that is calvaria. This is skull cap. And soft tissue covering this skull cap is known as scalp. It extends from the superior orbital margin, here it lies, superior orbital margin, up to the at the back. In the middle there is external occipital protuberance on the external aspect. In the middle and on the side, superior nuchal line. There are three nuchal line: highest nuchal line, superior nuchal line and inferior nuchal line. But the middle one, that is the superior nuchal line of both sides, and in the middle external occipital protuberance will be the posterior boundary, and laterally this is superior temporal line. There are two temporal lines, superior and inferior. So superior temporal line will be the lateral boundary. Hey guys, from so many years I bear weight of 5 slabs. This is slab, but still looks so fresh, because these 5 slabs are my 5 wishes of my life. It just symbolizes that. Just look at here, this blue one, this is the superior sagittal sinus. Okay, and it doesn't look like a head of a buffalo, and these are 5 slabs, like slabs on the head of that buffalo. This buffalo, that is the dural venous sinus, superior sagittal sinus, it carry all these slabs for long ago, but it's not tired. Just a hint that there are 5 layers in the scalp, and we all know it's a mnemonic for its own, that S for the skin, C for connective tissue, A, that is aponeurosis, L, loose areolar tissue, and P for pericranium. This is SCALP, scalp. Now, how will you memorize that each layer has its own peculiarity? So first layer, this is about the first layer from the external aspect, that is the skin. That buffalo is telling his wishes. That first wish is, I wish my family हंसते रहे all the time. हंसते रहे. H for hair, S for sebaceous glands. So first layer of scalp, that is skin, it contains lots of hair, and plenty of sebaceous gland. This is the anatomical basis why sebaceous cyst is more common in a scalp. Just look at here, so many hairs as well as the sebaceous gland. Now second wish of a buffalo, as my second wish is to buy a van for my family. Van is vein, artery and nerve. Vein, that is emissary vein, artery and nerve. And for family, that is follicle of hair. Just look at this second layer, this white one. Okay. Scalp, C for connective tissue. This is the connective tissue layer, in which there are fibrous compartment. You are seeing this round or like oval structure. These are the compartments made by fibrous septa, and each compartment has one vein. This one, this is emissary vein. All in blue color, these are emissary vein, and also each compartment has got one artery, one nerve and one hair follicle, this one. skin contain hair but not hair follicle. This layer, that is the second layer, give a space to the hair follicle in each compartment. This figure is not so appropriate because each compartment contain one vein, one artery, one nerve and one hair follicle. Okay, and this vein is emissary vein, and look how it is connected with the dural venous sinuses. This is breathing vein. Here it is written emissary vein. This is wrong. This one is emissary vein, and this vein which connect with the dural venous sinuses, this is known as bridging vein. ये ब्रिज का काम कर रहा है दोनों को कनेक्ट करने का. And just look at here. This isn't look like a head of a buffalo. This blue one, dural venous sinus, also sagittal sinus here, and this is just like two horn of the buffalo. This bridging vein, which ends in a round structure, that is emissary vein. So beautiful. Enclosed in the fibrous compartment, and these fibrous compartment through many trabeculae which distend the artery and vein so that it remain open all the time. These trabeculae tends to stretch the lumen. This is the anatomical basis why the scalp injury bleed profusely, because it can't contract. It is stressed by the fibrous trabeculae coming out from the fibrous septa, which forms the many compartment in this layer. Okay. And about this layer only, the buffalo says that मैं चाहता हूँ कि वैन की विंडो हमेशा खुली रहे ताकि जब ब्रिज से गुजरूं हवा आती जाती रहे. This buffalo is also wishes that van window should remain open so that air should go, air flow very calmly and quietly while the van passes across the bridge. And this is just a hint that this van, the window of van, is the lumen of vein and artery, which remain distended by the fibrous trabeculae. Okay, वैन की विंडो हमेशा खुली रहे क्योंकि वो जो फाइब्रस ट्रेबिकुली आ रही है वो उसे क्लोज नहीं होने दे रही है. इट हिंट्स टू अस दैट, एंड ताकि जब ब्रिज से गुजरू हवा आती जाती रहे. एंड दिस लाइन हिंट्स टू अस दैट these vein are connected with the dural venous sinuses through bridging vein. Very important. Now artery and vein of each compartment always remain patent as it is stressed with the fibrous lamella extending from fibrous septa. So it bleed profusely while it get injured. So how we can stop the bleeding? By just give pressure over the skin so that first layer will oppose with the third layer and compress the second layer. Okay, because its artery and vein always remain patent due to the fibrous lamella. Now emissary vein is connected to dural venous sinus with bridging vein, which I have said earlier, like this. This one is bridging vein. Now third vase, that is, this is about the third layer. First vase is to हंसते रहो all the time, वो चाहता था बफेलो, ठीक है. एंड द सेकेंड विश कि वो वैन खरीदे अपने फैमिली के लिए. तो वैन, वेन, आर्टरी, नर्व एंड फैमिली इज फॉर हेयर फॉलिकल. एंड नाउ थर्ड विश is to buy a beautiful shirt pant for my baby buffalo. Just look at how cute is this baby buffalo. Okay, and the papa buffalo wants to buy a beautiful baby shirt pant. Now what it hints to us? Third layer of scalp is aponeurotic layer having muscles at two end. That muscle is fronto-occipitalis muscle, which looks like baby shirt pant. Okay, and this is a very peculiar muscle because there are two belly, frontal belly and occipital belly of this muscle, and these two belly are connected by aponeurosis. Just like there are few, these type of muscles are known as digastric muscle because they have got two belly. Gastric means belly and di means two belly. And there are few often asked in the viva exam, name some digastric muscles of your body. So anterior and posterior belly of digastric, superior and inferior belly of femohyoid, and digastric muscle of anterior abdominal wall. That is the anterolateral muscles. That is external oblique abdominis, internal oblique abdominis, and transversus abdominis. They are in paired structure. They are paired and they are connected with the aponeurosis that forms the layers of the rectus sheath in between. Some scientists believe that no, they are not paired muscle because they are only one muscle and they are connected with the aponeurosis. So they are also known as digastric muscle of anti-abdominal wall, the anterolateral muscles. Now this frontal, how it seems like baby shirt pant. Just look at here. Frontal belly of fronto-occipitalis, this one. Frontal belly of fronto-occipitalis. Muscle is like baby shirt. ये ऐसा लग रहा है ना neck है. This is just like neck of the shirt. ठीक है. This frontal belly of fronto-occipitalis, it has got two lamella. Just like we want a sleeve, just a sleeve to take out the hand of a baby, take out the arm from here and from here also. So it has got two lamina, the superficial lamina and the deep lamina. Superficial lamina, it is attached to the skin over the superior orbital margin, okay, and the root of nose in the middle. And the deep lamina is attached to the corrugator supercilii in the middle and orbicularis oculi on the periphery. So it is very worth mentioning that it has got no bony attachment. Superficial lamina is attached to skin and deep lamina is attached to muscle, that is orbicularis oculi, which is around the orbit, orbicularis oculi, and in the middle there is corrugator supercilii. Okay, and this is aponeurosis, which is also known as epicranial aponeurosis or Galea aponeurotica. Okay, and now it is connected with the, here it is, the occipital belly of occipito frontalis. And just look at here, this it has the large, this one is frontal belly is large, whereas the occipital belly is small. Frontal belly is attached at the lower end, whereas the occipital belly is separate. Both occipital belly are separate, just like pant. And here it is attached just like neck, just like the shirt, and it is just like pant. Now shirt pant of my baby should not have any metal piece, that Buffalo Wiss. So what it hints to us, the occipitofrontalis muscle has got no bony attachment, which I have said earlier. The reason why, any injury will lead to black eye. This is the anatomical basis, that any injury, any blow to the eyelid or any blow to the skull or scalp, and any frontal bone fracture will lead to extravasation of blood which collect around the eye, because fronto-occipitalis muscle, it has got no bony attachment. Especially the frontal belly, I have said frontal belly of fronto-occipitalis has got no bony attachment. Okay. Occipitofrontalis muscle has got no bony attachment. The reason why, an injury, especially the frontal belly of occipitofrontalis. That's why black eye result. and this is the anatomical basis. Now black eye, blue on the skull is a cause, and collection of blood in the subepineuritic space, that is scalp. Third layer is what? S for skin, C for connective tissue, A for epineuritic layer. So this is subepineuritic, that is below epineurosis, below that fronto-occipitalis muscle. The blood collect and it will go around the eye because frontal belly has got no bony attachment. Now blood slowly gravitates into the iris because the frontalis has no bony attachment. Okay. Now the fourth phase, this is about the fourth layer of a scalp, that is SCAL. Fourth one is loose areolar tissue. My fourth wish is to buy one pressure cooker with safety valve for my queen buffalo. It says queen buffalo. Here it is written, hi, I am queen buffalo. And the husband buffalo wants to buy a pressure cooker for her queen or for his wife. Okay, with the safety valve, because there are so many chances of bursting a pressure cooker. So what it hints to us, that fourth layer of a scalp is a loose areolar tissue, also known as layer of safety hematoma. Safety valve is what? Safety hematoma. But how? Because as this layer give enough space for blood to accumulate so that it will not give pressure to brain. It has got enough space so that blood collect here and there will be no pressure effect. That's why this layer is also known as layer of safety hematoma, as well as it is the most dangerous layer, because if hematoma get infected, it will travel to the bridging vein. Here what we are seeing, this is if hematoma, this infection, if hematoma get infected, this infection will go to the bridging vein and which opens into the dural venous sinuses. So very grave situation that will lead to cavernous sinus thrombosis or sagittal sinus thrombosis. As if hematoma get infected, infection will travel to dural venous sinuses through bridging vein, can lead to cavernous sinus thrombosis or sagittal sinus thrombosis. Here we can see this is the emissary vein through which superior sagittal sinus is connected to the scalp. The scalp is drained by the emissary vein to the superior sagittal sinus. So this is the pathway of traveling infection, and what we are seeing here is the sinus veins thrombosis. So fourth layer is also known as dangerous layer of the scalp. Again, this fourth layer, anyone can sleep on the floor of watery kitchen. We are discussing about the kitchen. First, there is a safety hematoma, and second one is it is the dangerous layer, and third one, anyone can sleep on the floor of watery kitchen, which hints to us that this layer make the scalp slippery over the skull bone. Many scientists believe that scalp has got two layers. SCA forms one layer, that is skin, connective tissue and epineuritis. This forms one layer, and the last two, that is the loose scalp, loose areolar tissue and the periosteum. It forms another layer, and due to the loose areolar tissue, the scalp becomes slippery over the skull bone. Now again, another hint of the anatomical basis, that cut is very common while chopping veggies in the kitchen. Just like the fourth layer is also regarded as the layer of surgical incision, because surgeons believe that scalp has got only two layers, the upper three has got one, is regarded as one layer, and the lower periosteum. In between there is loose areolar tissue which forms the layer of the surgical incision. My last and fifth wish, that is about the fifth layer, is that everyone on this earth should be supple and happy. Safal means what? Successful and happy. This buffalo is. How cute he is. Now, fifth layer of scalp is pericranium. We all know scalp, P for pericranium, which is loosely attached on skull bone. Loosely attached, except at the suture. Along the suture line, it is firmly attached, due to which any accumulation of blood beneath that will take shape of a bone, leading to cephalhematoma. That type of hematoma which take the shape of a bone which do not cross the suture line is known as cephalhematoma. Very important. And it's just mimic caput succedaneum, a similar type of situation in which boggy edematous swelling of the fetal scalp. It occurs during the delivery. Okay, and just look at caput. There is a 3-letter word cap, just like cap, which passes across the suture line. Cap goes across suture line. So this caput succedaneum also goes across the suture line. You do not follow. It do not take the shape of a bone. Disappear without treatment. Okay, and no pathological significance. Now, this is caput difference. It may be asked in your exam that it is present at birth, caput succedaneum, which is cap-like, and cephalhematoma appears within a few days after birth, or scalp injury in any period of life. Okay, and may lie on suture, not well defined. The main difference is that cephalhematoma, that it takes shape of a bone. It do not cross suture line, where it crosses suture line. And the rest you may learn. Yeah, the buffalo got hurt with this proverb. Now we have completed all the layers. Now we are going progressing towards the nerve supply and arterial supply. Now what is here? Kala akshar bhais barabar. This is about the buffalo. And buffalo got hurt with this proverb, that kala akshar bhais barabar. Everyone thinks that he is illiterate, and he got hurt. He went to Swan, his best friend Swan, and he tells that, sweet Swan, jag, let's go to some school soon, please obey. Is requesting Swan, his best friend, that, sweet Swan, jag, let's go to. This one is nerve supply, sensory nerve supply. And some school soon, please obey. This is about arterial supply. This one is hint towards arterial supply. Now look at here. This is what I am telling, that about the sensory supply. So, sweet, swan, jag. This is Z-A-G, jag. Let's go to. Up to this much is sensory supply. Here what we are seeing, this is the anterior aspect and this is posterior aspect, and this is a transverse section of the head, and this is auricle. Okay, so if we progress from anterior to posterior, what we are seeing, first there is supratrochlear nerve. The medial side, we all know there is supratrochlear notch, and just by the side of which is the supratrochlear nerve. Then comes supraorbital nerve, and jag, this jag, Z-A-G, is around the ear, because for हम लोग को किसी को उठाना हो, if we won't get out of the bed, someone get out of the bed, we just twist or twirl the ear of that person. So jag, जागने के लिए हम लोग कान उमेटते हैं. So jag is around the ear, or auricle. So zygomaticotemporal, this is the temporal region, that's why zygomaticotemporal, auriculotemporal and greater auricular all contain auricle, and here is the temporal. Okay, and jagne ke liye, so this is around all these three nerve is around the auricle. Okay, now jag, let's go to. Now this one, let's go to. Occipital bone is on the posterior aspect, so lesser occipital, then greater occipital, and obviously there will be no greatest occipital, so there will be third occipital. Lesser occipital, greater occipital, and third occipital nerve. And this red one, in red color, this one is about the motor part, motor nerve supply. What we know that there are only, in the scalp there is only one muscle, that is fronto-occipitalis, and it has got two belly. Frontal belly is supplied by the temporal branch of the facial nerve, whereas the occipital belly gets supplied by, innervated by the posterior auricular branch of the facial nerve. तप, both are the branches of facial nerve, but तप, जब कोई गुस्सा होता है तो वो उसे because buffalo got hurt by this proverb that कालाक्षर भैंस बराबर, so he get angry, तप गया, तपना means angry होना, तो तप it hints towards the motor supply, वो मार सकता है, तो ये मोटर पार्ट को डिनोट कर रहा है. So temporal branch and posterior auricular branch. Now coming to arterial supply. So some school soon, वो जाना चाहते हैं, that buffalo wants to go some school very soon. Some school soon, please obey. He is requesting swan. So supratrochlear artery. Now in this figure, this one is the anterior aspect, is the nose, and this one is posterior aspect. So from anterior to posterior, always proceed from anterior to posterior. This one is supratrochlear in the medial side, and the laterally there is supraorbital. These are arteries: supratrochlear artery, supraorbital artery, then superficial temporal. This one is anteriorly superficial temporal, and this is posterior auricular, and this one is occipital. So supratrochlear, supraorbital, superficial temporal, posterior auricular, and occipital artery. Some school soon, please obey. These are the arterial supply of a scalp. Now coming to venous drainage of a scalp, the same as that of arterial supply: supratrochlear vein, supraorbital vein, superficial temporal, and posterior auricular vein. This one is supratrochlear on the medial side, lateral side supraorbital. These two veins are the tributaries of angular vein, which is coming out from the common, which is the terminal branch of the facial vein. So both will drain into the facial vein, and now this facial vein joined with the anterior division of retromandibular vein. This one is retromandibular vein, which has got two terminal branches, that is the maxillary vein and superficial temporal vein. Both of these veins unite to form the retromandibular vein, which is within the substance of parotid gland, and also this anterior and posterior division. Now anterior division of retromandibular vein, and this one is the facial vein. Both unite to form the common facial vein, which opens into internal jugular vein. This venous system is very important, and here we can see this is occipital vein, which drains into the posterior auricular vein. Now posterior auricular vein along with the posterior division of retromandibular vein form the external jugular vein, which opens into the subclavian vein. So this venous drainage is very important: supratrochlear, supraorbital vein, superficial temporal, posterior auricular, and the occipital vein. Now coming to lymphatic drainage of a scalp, in the middle, just if we draw a one line across the scalp in the middle, which is passing through both auricle, is the watershed line. Anterior to the and that imaginary line or watershed line, it will drain into the parotid lymph node, and posteriorly it will drain to mastoid lymph node and occipital lymph node. So PMO office, look, Mr. Narendra Modi is in the PMO office. So anterior to watershed line is the parotid lymph node, and posterior to watershed line is the mastoid and occipital lymph node. Now these are the very important questions. Give anatomical basis. Why sagittally placed wound of scalp tend to remain close by, but transversely placed wound tend to give? Because the fibers of the Galea epineuritica scalp, the third layer, epineuritic layer, which is in between the two muscle belly, that is the frontalis and occipitalis, The fiber of the Gallia aponeurotica runs in longitudinal fashion. So if any sagittally placed wound, it will approximate, the fiber will approximate with each other. It will remain closed. But transversely placed wound, it cuts the fiber at 90 degree. So that will gape. This is the anatomical basis. And why wound of the scalp bleed profusely? Second question is, why wound of scalp bleed profusely? So what we have learned that in the second layer, scalp, C for connective tissue. Second layer is connective tissue layer, in which we have seen that there are many compartments, and each compartment contain one vein, one artery, and nerve and hair follicle. That vein and artery, that lumen, always remain patent due to the presence of fibrous trabeculae coming out from the fibrous septa. That fibrous trabeculae make the lumen of arteries and vein patent all the time. So the wound of a scalp bleed profusely. Why Saphalta causes black eye? Now Saphalta is mnemonic for this injury, that blow to skull, F for frontal bone fracture, and blow to lid, L for lid, eyelid. Same as that, one who study more, the Saphalta always chumo kadam of that type of person. So, and that will lead to a black circle around the eye. Just a mnemonic. So, why Saphalta causes black eye? Because the frontalis belly of occipitofrontalis muscle has got no bony attachment. So, any extravasation of blood below the aponeurosis will trickle down around the eye. That will result into black eye. Now fourth one is, why wound of scalp heal well and infection is uncommon? Because the arterial supply, what we have seen here, the arterial supply, the supratrochlear and supraorbital, these are the branches of the internal carotid, and these three, superficial, temporal, posterior auricular and the occipital, these three are the branches of external carotid artery. So, and it come in the middle, okay, and also the arterial supply of this side, same as that of here, and the anastomosis in the middle, they anastomosis with each other. So it is a beautiful site. It is a beautiful site of anastomosis of external and internal carotid artery, and it is highly vascular. Scalp is highly vascular. The reason why wound of scalp heal well and infection is uncommon, because there is the flow of blood is the fast. So in fact infection will not lose due to the very rich arterial supply. Short notes over the black eye and the difference between cephalhematoma and caput succedaneum. A long question is, mention layer of scalp is blood supply, nerve supply, venous and lymphatic drainage. Now Buffalo is saying thank you.